Welcome back to the English Daily Podcast. I'm Anna.
And I'm Jake. Today we're talking about something beautiful that appears in the sky after rain, the science of rainbows. We'll learn why rainbows have colors, how they form, and some useful English expressions connected with light, weather, and discovery.
Rainbows seem magical, but they are also a wonderful example of simple science. Jake, when was the last time you saw a rainbow?
I saw one a few weeks ago after a heavy afternoon shower. The sky became bright, and a huge rainbow appeared above the buildings. I stopped walking just to look at it. What about you?
I saw one while I was traveling near the coast. The sunlight came through the clouds, and the rainbow seemed to touch the ocean. It was a memorable sight. The word memorable means easy to remember because it is special or unusual.
That's a useful word. You can say, we had a memorable trip, or, it was a memorable moment. You can also describe a rainbow as vivid. Vivid means very bright, clear, and strong in color.
Exactly. So, what must happen before we can see a rainbow? The first ingredient is light from the sun. The second is water in the air, usually in the form of tiny drops after rain. We also need the sun to be behind us and the rain to be in front of us.
That last point is important. If the sun is directly in front of you, you probably will not see a rainbow in front of you. The sunlight needs to shine toward the raindrops, while you look in the opposite direction.
Let's imagine a single raindrop. When sunlight enters the drop, the light bends. This bending is called refraction. Refraction happens when light moves from one material into another, such as from air into water.
Here is a practical example. Put a pencil in a glass of water, and look at it from the side. The pencil may appear bent at the surface of the water. That is because light changes direction as it travels between air and water.
Good example. After entering a raindrop, the sunlight travels to the back of the drop and reflects, or bounces, off the inside surface. Then it leaves the drop and bends again. During this process, white sunlight separates into different colors.
Many people think white light is just one color, but it is actually a mixture of colors. The familiar order is red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Some people remember the first letters with the name Roy G. Biv.
Red has the longest wavelength among these visible colors, and violet has the shortest. A wavelength is the distance between two matching points on a wave. You do not need to memorize the physics to enjoy a rainbow, but this idea explains why each color bends a little differently.
That difference is called dispersion. Dispersion means separating something into its different parts. In a rainbow, water droplets disperse white sunlight into a spectrum. A spectrum is a range of colors, frequencies, or other related things.
Let's practice those words in natural sentences. The prism created dispersion and produced a spectrum of colors. Or, the glass prism separated the light. A prism is a clear object, often made of glass, that can change the direction of light.
You can make a small rainbow at home with a glass of water and a sunny window. Place the glass where sunlight can pass through it, and put a white piece of paper on the other side. You may see colored light on the paper.
You can also use a garden hose on a sunny day. Stand with the sun behind you and spray a fine mist into the air. A fine mist is a cloud of very small water drops. Turn slowly until the light and water are in the right positions.
That activity demonstrates an important idea. A rainbow is not an object sitting in a particular place. It is an optical phenomenon. Optical relates to light and vision, while a phenomenon is an event or fact that can be observed.
Right. Your eyes receive light that has been redirected by the raindrops. If you move, the angle changes, and the rainbow seems to move with you. In fact, you are seeing light from a different group of drops.
This is why two people do not see exactly the same rainbow. Each person has a slightly different viewpoint. You could say that a rainbow is personal to the observer. Observer is a more formal word for a person who watches or notices something.
Can a rainbow form at night? Usually, you need sunlight, so a normal rainbow appears during the day. However, a bright moon can sometimes create a moonbow. A moonbow is a rainbow made by moonlight instead of sunlight.
Moonbows are rare because moonlight is much weaker than sunlight. They often look white to human eyes, although cameras may record their colors more clearly. The phrase "to the naked eye" means seen without special equipment, such as a telescope or camera.
Another interesting question is why a rainbow looks like an arc. From the ground, we usually see only part of a circle because the horizon blocks the lower part. From a high airplane or a tall mountain, you may see more of the circle.
The exact shape depends on your position and the angle of the light. In very special conditions, an observer in an airplane may see a complete circular rainbow. So the familiar arc is not the whole rainbow, it is the part visible from the ground.
Sometimes people report seeing two rainbows at once. The second, outer rainbow, is called a double rainbow. It forms when light reflects twice inside each raindrop. Its colors appear in the opposite order, with red on the inside and violet on the outside.
The second rainbow is usually fainter, or less bright, because extra reflection reduces the amount of light reaching your eyes. Between the two rainbows, there may be a darker area called Alexander's band. It is not a shadow, but a region where less light reaches the observer.
Rainbows have also influenced language and culture. In English, people often say there is a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. This expression comes from a traditional story about leprechauns, but today it can mean an impossible reward or a goal that is difficult to reach.
For example, someone might say, "Don't spend all your money chasing a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow." Another expression is "every cloud has a silver lining." It means that even a difficult situation may contain something positive.
That expression is useful in everyday conversation. If a flight is cancelled, you might say, "Every cloud has a silver lining." Now we have time to explore the airport. Of course, we should not pretend problems are easy, but looking for a positive side can help us stay calm.
There is also the phrase "somewhere over the rainbow," which suggests a beautiful or better place that is far away. It can describe a dream, a hope, or a desire for change. Notice how weather and light give us many ways to talk about feelings.
Let's connect this topic to English learning. Describing a rainbow is excellent practice for adjectives and precise observation. Instead of saying only "it was nice," try "it was a brilliant, delicate arc stretching across the gray sky."
Brilliant can mean extremely bright or excellent. Delicate means easily damaged, gentle, or fine in appearance. Stretching across means extending from one side to another. These words help listeners create a picture in their minds.
You can also practice cause and effect language. Use because, so, therefore, and as a result. For example, the rain had just stopped, so water droplets remained in the air. As a result, sunlight was dispersed, and a rainbow appeared.
That structure is useful in science presentations, school assignments, and workplace explanations. Start with the cause, explain the process, and finish with the result. It makes your speech easier to follow.
Here is another learning tip: record yourself describing a natural event for 1 minute. Do not read a script. Speak from memory, then listen for unclear sounds, repeated words, or missing verb endings.
For pronunciation, pay attention to the difference between light and right. Light begins with the L sound, while right begins with an R sound. Try this sentence: "The right light made a rainbow." Say it slowly, then say it at a natural speed.
You can also practice the word refraction. Break it into parts, refraction. The stress is usually on the second syllable. For dispersion, stress the second syllable as well, dispersion.
And remember that vocabulary grows when you meet words in groups. Light, sunlight, moonlight, flashlight, highlight, and daylight are all connected. Rain, raindrop, rainfall, rainy, and rainbow form another useful word family.
Before we finish, let's review the science. A rainbow needs light, water droplets, and the correct viewing angle. Light enters a drop, bends through refraction, reflects inside, and bends again as it leaves.
Then dispersion separates white light into a spectrum of colors. The colors appear in a particular order because different wavelengths bend by different amounts. A rainbow is not a physical object, it is light reaching your eyes from a special angle.
Our key vocabulary included vivid, refraction, reflection, dispersion, spectrum, phenomenon, observer, and fainter. We also learned useful expressions such as a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow and every cloud has a silver lining.
For practical English, try describing a rainbow with specific adjectives, explain causes and results with linking words, and record yourself speaking for 1 minute. Small activities like these can turn an interesting subject into real language practice.
So, the next time you see a rainbow, pause and observe it. Ask yourself where the sun is, where the rain is, and how the light is traveling. Then describe what you see in English.
That's all for today's episode of the English Daily Podcast. We hope this conversation helped you understand both rainbows and useful English. If you enjoyed the episode, subscribe to the podcast, leave a review, and share it with another English learner.
Thanks for listening. Keep noticing the world, keep asking questions, and keep learning English every day. See you next time.